There's some
What's that
feedback
sound?
that I don't like. What's the sound? What's the sign? Zodiac Killer.
I was thinking da-dee-da, da-dee-da,
I was singing a Lil Wayne song.
I was singing a BTS song. What? Okay.
There's no bigger dichotomy than BTS and Lil Wayne. I'll tell you that right now. You heard it here on the show.
They're so good. Both of them. BTS, I can't get enough of, I'll be honest.
So pretty Brady.
Pretty.
Okay. Paul Vetter, what's up, my man?
Good morning. Okay, we ready to rock and roll? All right. Hello and welcome to the Anatomy of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
What's up, my friends? My name is Seth Studley. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. Happy Wednesday to you. Welcome to AOM Radio, where we do 4 things every single time. We call them the pigs. We do a prayer, intention, gratitude, and we answer 1 or 2 questions from the Anatomy of Marriage app conversation starters.
And that's right. Today's show is sponsored by the Anatomy of Marriage app. It's a couples counseling app that's fast, fun, and never boring. It's got bedroom games. It's got conversation starters. It's got communication tools. Go check it out at anatomyofmarriage.com. It's the best.
That's right. You guys, what's up? I am Daniqua. Go check out her podcast. You know, I know that you maybe have 1 episode, maybe 2, but go check it out. Talk about money and stuff. So,
that's right.
All right, so let's dive into the pigs. Right?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, God, Creator, for your blessings. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to serve and be served, to give and give back. God, thank you so much, or give and receive. God, thank you for this vibe. Thank you for this community, for this podcast. Thank you for our blessings of a home and all that you have given us. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
We encourage you to do these things with your partner. So pray together, do intentions, gratitudes, and more.
Intention today is, again, to bring it. And we talk about this often, right? If you are married to a person that is bringing it every day, and I'm not talking about bringing the drama and bringing the crap, you know,
right.
We need to talk if that's the case, but bringing it, then things are going to go well for you, right? And my intention is to bring it today. That means 75 hard, phase 3. That means intention. That means getting more clients, doing good work, doing what I say I'm going to do. So I'm going to bring it, and I'm going to bring it to you.
I brought it to you. Never mind. Yes, my intention is also to bring all of it. Like I realized last night and yesterday, and like we talked about the other day, like when I don't bring my best self to you, what's the point? And the crazy part about that is that almost nobody understands what their best self really is. That's why 75 hard is so important. That's why coaching is so important, because I thought 2 years ago, I'm bringing Seth my best self. What? Shut up. Why are you so mad? Right. Like I was just a poopy pants baby, and I thought that was my best self. Yeah. And y'all, I didn't even know my best self until a month ago.
Go check out David Goggins. He wrote a book called Can't Hurt Me, and he is super hardcore, awesome. I love him. I love him, dude. No, but he talks about, we think, all of us, you know, we think that our 60% is our 100.
Right.
Oh, just balls to the wall, 100%. No, it's your 60%.
Right.
You got 40 left in the tank. Right. So let's take that. What are you smiling at?
Balls to the wall. You want me to say my saying?
No.
You're sexist.
That's
anyway.
Sexist. So okay.
Yes.
So anyway, my gratitude is, okay, yesterday was a little bit stressful with kids and homeschooling and stuff. And then I had 3 coaching clients back to back, and you had a coaching client too. So I came home, we got set up and all the stuff, but the kids were just illin'. And like 10 minutes before my first coaching client, I took you and I said, hey, what did I say? I said, hey,
this is what professionals do.
I know this is crazy, but me and you, this is what pros do in 10 minutes, and we're going to kick ass. So can I say that? We're going to kick some, right? And we looked at each other, and you were crying 10 minutes before. Right?
I was. That's
you
for
were
sure.
Illin'.
Yesterday was a very hard day.
Right.
And
but
I think it's a test.
So No. I am thankful that I was able to look at you and say, let's do this. And you were like, what did you do?
I gave you a high five. I said,
yeah. You gave me a look and you gave me a high five. And then we killed it. So I'm thankful for that. What's your thankfulness? Go.
My gratitudeness for today is...
That's not a word.
I'm very thankful for you letting me get the hutch thing that we got the other day. And because it's like a gigantic hutch for our kitchen. And I love it. It's like my command center. It's It's got all my
Right.
homeschool shiz in it, and it's extremely helpful to have. And thank you.
And we did it. Yeah, we went and picked it up. So thank you for that. And guys, this isn't about just like, oh, what did we get, or why are we thankful, or we're doing this. It is a practice that we are intentionally doing to build gratitude, to foster gratitude within our relationship. So it's not just like, hey, watch Seth say what he's thankful for, because that's boring, right? Nobody cares about that, right? But the point is that we're doing it every single day, and you guys are going to do it every single day too, because guess what? Gratitude cultivates your attitude.
That's right.
I just made that up.
Oh yeah.
Probably not. Probably it's been said 100 times.
Probably.
What's up, Delano, my man? Hope
Good
you're doing
morning.
good. So, okay, thank you for that. That's awesome. Do these at home, and let's dive straight into the questions.
All right. If you've got a question for our show, you can send it in to hello@anatomyofmarriage.com, or you can DM us. What up?
That's right. What's up, Andy Gee on YouTube Live? What's
Good
up, Ricky on the Facebook?
Ricky Bobby. That's all I can think of. So this says, having a baby ruined our marriage. Hi, I am new listening to your podcast, and I'm loving every episode. My husband and I are married for 7 years now, and since we have had a baby from last year, we just grow further and further apart. I resent him for not helping me take care of our newborn baby, and there is even a night that he went out to celebrate a bachelor party, and I found out that they went to a strip club while I was at home taking care of our baby with no sleep. He told me they were going out for dinner and drinks. I just found out about the strip club from our debit card. When I brought it up with him, he thinks he's not doing anything wrong. Aside from this, we no longer talk as much as we do pre-baby. I am partially to blame for this because I am more reactive in our relationship and not proactive. And he is proactive before, but now he's becoming reactive like me. I told him that we should do counseling, but he does not want it and said that it should only be me since I am the one who thinks that we have a problem. Sad face.
Okay, dude. I'm not talking to the wife here. I'm talking to the dude. Get your S together and go to counseling.
Don't start cussing.
S is not a cuss word. It's the letter of the alphabet.
I'm listening.
Get over it or pay the price.
Yes.
No, so, okay. I read this and this is just dumb. Like, this guy is doing dumb stuff. This guy is not dumb, but he's doing dumb stuff. Go to a strip club without telling your wife. And then use a debit card. At least use cash.
Why are you telling him to do it better?
No, I'm not endorsing. No, I'm not endorsing going to a strip club. Obviously, I am saying, okay, what are you thinking? Because if he's not even having the foresight to be like, oh, debit card, what? Then you're not thinking about other stuff that actually matters. You know what I'm saying?
So it sounds like you're just telling them to do better.
No. I think other people will understand. It's like, I can't think of an analogy right now, but okay, you guys absolutely need to get into counseling. Obviously, the baby did not ruin your marriage, right? Your marriage had some stuff going on before the baby, right? And when you were reading this, I was thinking about, okay, how do we each react?
Each of us? What do you
Each of us reacts differently to change, right? And a baby, obviously, rocks your world. What's up, Adina? Good morning. It rocks your world, right? So you guys are adjusting terribly to this change, right? So it's not about the strip club or the debit card or you being reactive or you guys not talking. It's about how you're reacting to change. So I would like for you guys to really come to Jesus in a way of like, sit down and go, okay, what do we want this marriage to look like? We each have our own ideas. We each have our expectations, but just like sometimes on Saturdays, you want me to do all this bull crap, all these chores, and I have the idea of like, well, I want to take the kids fishing.
I want to cut down 9,000 trees.
Right, or I want to go to the woods or something like that. And we're incongruent there.
Yeah, we're
understand?
not in agreement.
So we have this practice that I want you guys to really think about and do, like at the Saturday morning or Sunday morning or whatever, or just during the week even, but on a very specific day, we're like, hey, what are your expectations for this day? Well, I was thinking of going to Costco and then coming home and watching football. No football is on right now, but that's the basic premise of it, right? You guys need to sit down and go, hey, what are your expectations for the next 5 years of our life?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now we have a kid. What are your expectations for our money? Do I spend money going to places I shouldn't on a debit card or cash even? It doesn't matter how we spend it. But what are the expectations there, right? And I want to just talk about a sponsor of the show is Faithful Counseling, right? Go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage to get counseling like in an hour, right?
Right now.
You could do that.
Pause the show.
It's online. Pause the show. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. You will be hooked up with another licensed counselor, and it's cheaper than going to regular therapy, like with 4 walls in an office. You don't have to drive there. You can wear your underwear. You can do whatever you want, right?
You get a babysitter.
You don't. Yeah, exactly. Do it while the baby is taking a nap or whatever. So getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage. Of course, they are a sponsor. And we're talking about getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage to go get counseling. And you guys need counseling. You may have the problem, but guess what? If you have a problem and we're married, whose problem is it?
You're talking about my problem, huh?
It's ours.
It's our problem. That's right.
Ours.
It's
so
our
come on,
problem.
dude. Get your stuff together, bro.
Oh, okay.
Seriously.
I love your energy, dear. But I do want to say, you said you two suck at making this transition. That's a little too harsh.
All right. I'm sorry.
This transition is very hard to make, and I want to normalize that this happens to a ton of people.
Your favorite person's on?
Who?
Bitchy Lou.
Oh, Bitchy Lou. I didn't even see you. So this happens to a ton of people all the time when they have their first kid, especially. And y'all are at the 7-year mark. That's the 7-year itch. That's when stuff starts getting real. And you're like, this is not fun anymore.
Big time.
So there's 2 sort of combating tough elements happening at one time. So the first thing I want to address is that or I'm going to ask you this question. How did your parents, or how do your parents, hey girl, hey, respond? How did they parent you? How did your parents parent you? So look into your family of origin, look into your partner's family of origin. Do they have an absent father? Is his parents divorced? All of those things really impact what your parenting style is going to be like, because we go to what we know. We don't actually, almost no one, unless they're insanely self-aware and insanely dedicated to changing themselves, almost nobody does something different than their parents did. Like, you fight with me because your dad fought with your mom, right? You don't let me wear what I want to wear because your dad doesn't let your mom, right? These are just fake examples. But we go to what we know. So if we had an absent father, that's what we're probably going to do, even if we didn't like having an absent father when we were a kid. We go to what we know. So that's the first place I want to start. Look at your families of origin, and examine them and be like, why is this a pattern? And is it a pattern? Start there. The second thing is, like Seth said, you have to have a vision for what you actually want. How do you want to talk to one another? How do you want to spend your evenings? If he's gone at night doing things you don't want to do, what's the alternative? Not, I don't like what so you can't do it, right? No, don't just say, I don't like what you're doing. You actually have to know what you want them to do.
You can't list all the things. Don't do this. I don't like it when you do that.
Right.
Oh, you did this again. I don't like that. I don't like that. Because then you have a bank of negatives. You're like, well,
what's the point?
What
do
you like?
And you can't do a don't. No, he's not going to come home and be like, oh yeah, my wife loves X, Y, and Z, because you're not telling him what you love. Let's see. I heard it was about every 7 years. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yes, there are. Yeah. It's 7 years, I think, and 21 and 14, because Dr. Tina talked about it.
Yeah.
And like 32 or something.
It's roundabout kind of thing. It's, typically if, people get married, they have kids maybe 3, 4, 5 years after, then they hit the 7-year itch. And it's like just cycles of stuff. Okay. We've been doing this. The newness is worn off. It's like, oh, geez, same thing again, which is like everything. Like this morning, I was driving to the gym and I was like, it takes like 12 to 13 minutes to the gym. It's just super boring driving there. So it's like, what can I do? Okay, listen to a podcast or something to get myself jammed up because it's worth where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of the same thing in the view of a marriage. Like, oh man, we're just doing the same thing. Do something to shake it up, because guess what? You do have a future self. You do have a future marriage. I just read an article about future self this morning, which is really cool. So if we can look maybe a year in the future, like, okay, how is it going to be? How can it be? Then we have something to look forward to and work towards, and then reverse engineer.
And I was listening to Stop Doing That S by Gary John Bishop, and it is an amazing book.
Absolute amazing book.
And he says, stop thinking about yourself in the present, which is the opposite of what we're always told. We're always told, be in the present moment, be right now, do this, blah, blah, blah. Like Eckhart Tolle talks about that. Everybody talks about be in the present. And Gary John Bishop is like, no, think about your future self. What is your future self going to be proud of that you've done? What's your future self going to be happy with? And I love that idea because my future self will not be happy if I sat and watched Netflix all day. I'll be happy in the moment. In the present, I'll be like, yeah, this cheer documentary is amazing. But my future self will be like, why'd you sit for 7 hours, you ding dong?
Hey, what's up? A purpose-driven marriage. I think I reached out to you for a while back. I'm not sure, but let's connect. A purpose-driven marriage.
Brittany says, I'll even wave. This is normal and, of course, requires effort to work through. But with both of our kids, the baby stage forces our marriage to grow. Yes.
I like that. Forces our marriage to grow because what we resist sometimes what we resist persists, right? So if I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym, but I have this, beer belly or whatever, fat tire, that's going to persist. So once we kind of give into that, and I'm not saying like given, don't get me sideways here,
right?
Like given to temptation and like finally give into that whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, okay, this has been on your mind. My mind, I'm resisting it. I don't want to wake up early. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to say I'm sorry to my wife. Well, guess what? If you don't do that, then that conflict is going to persist. And if we can look at it differently, then we can make some change there.
And I always say this with my coaching clients because there comes a point in where as a coach, you look at a pattern in someone's relationship and you go, why are you doing that again? Like, why are you doing it again? like you did that for 13 years. Remember how it didn't work for 13 years?
Right.
Stop doing the same exact thing.
It's kind of like Dr. Phil moniker. How's that working for you?
How's that working for you?
Right.
So I hope that is helpful. I do say you all should reach out to Faithful Counseling. Go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage. Talk about these things. Use the Clearing Structure in the Anatomy of Marriage app to have these conversations, but you cannot keep doing what you're doing. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect something different.
I tell my therapy clients often, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, nothing changes if nothing changes. And that has to do with anything, right? Even from like the dog sitting outside,
Right.
Okay. He's going to keep on running away, and we're going to keep on getting phone calls saying, hey, your dog's down the road. He ran away yesterday. And he's going to keep on doing that if I don't change.
Right.
So nothing changes if not. So guess what? He's cabled on a little thing, and he's in like Shameville.
Where he's got a big old cable line. Look,
right.
Paul just texted this to me. He said, so I noticed something today watching the show. When Seth is killing it on all cylinders and leading and being a boss, which isn't his natural state, I don't believe, Melanie, your sassiness level toward him is lower. And your playfulness is higher. Kill it. Go get it. Kill it. I know you thought you were going to say,
I thought you were going to get busted.
She's sassy and whatever. No, I wasn't going to get busted.
Okay, that's good. Paul, I love it.
He's a king. He's a boss.
He is. All right. Let's dive into the second question.
That's from BTS, please. In case you guys want to know that song reference.
Yes,
BTS. Dechita, my favorite. So the second question is, I feel stuck. I don't know if I want to fix our marriage. I don't know if I can even fall back in love with my husband. Feel down. I feel down and I want to, I don't know. But I don't know if this is just for the kids or if something inside of me actually wants to. There has been too much hurt, too much toxic stuff in our marriage that I just haven't been able to love him the way he needs. I don't know what to do, how to move on from a long relationship and where to start that conversation with him. There's something I want to address right off the get-go. It says, I don't know, I haven't been able to love him the way he needs.
Yeah, that one, that's funny. That one stuck out to me, too, in that whole thing.
Right.
I haven't been able to love him the way he needs.
And I feel like...
What if that is an assumption on your part? Or what if that is an area that he is blaming you for that he needs to grow in? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because oftentimes, and when I close my eyes like this, it means I'm really thinking deeply. So don't mess with me right now.
That was funny.
Okay. No, but because sometimes in relationships we blame our spouse if we're not happy, right? But maybe I'm not happy with my body, my diet, where I am with my job, what my inner thoughts are, and I'm blaming you because the idea behind that is like, if she would just do this, then I would be happy. And my friends, that is the farthest thing from the truth. Right.
It's the idea of the shadow self. So read the book Turning Pro by Shakespeare. What's his name? Stephen Pressfield. Read the Turning Pro by
Right.
Stephen Pressfield and The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield.
Mm-hmm.
Those two books talk about the shadow self
Mm-hmm.
and this idea of it is so much easier. Listen to this, you guys. It is so much easier to be like, I can't make Seth happy. Peace out. This is dumb. I hate this. Then it's so much easier to do that than to stop complaining and actually apologize. It's easier to say Seth's an idiot than it is to be like, maybe I've done something wrong here. And so we end up living this shadow self of I'm a victim. Like it sucked, so I left and
I'm here because of you.
Right. And
which, that's a blaming mentality. That's a victim mentality.
Right.
And you guys, we are all absolutely stronger than that as we find our thing. So I would like for this person, I would actually kind of want to have maybe a quick convo with this person actually, because there is a lot here, and it's not like, I don't know if I want to save my marriage. It's not up to you, wife, to completely save your marriage here, right? Your husband has to be on board too. There is nothing, I was going to say there's nothing worse, but it's not, I'm going to reframe that. There is nothing more difficult or misguided than couples coming to me for couples therapy and somebody saying she's the problem, you know, she's the problem, I have to fix this, right? Because that's not balanced,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So you're both in it. You both have to be on the same page and do the work. I was talking to a potential coaching client yesterday, and I was like, you know, is your partner in? You know, you're saying all this stuff, but is your partner in?
Right.
Too? Because if they're not, then it's like, okay, the ship is setting sail, but we're going to try to fix this, but you're still over there on the shore.
Yeah, I have a really good visual analogy, and then I want to read the comments because there's a lot of them, but don't focus on that yet. So this is what so many couples do. This is what we did forever. So face me. So we're facing one another, and now walk towards me. Ready? Go. Okay, do it again. One more time. Right?
What are you doing?
This is what people do. They go, oh yeah, we're together. And they run into each other because they don't realize they're trying to get somewhere together, not towards each other together. They're trying to go somewhere together. So instead of walking at each other and continually fighting because, well, I thought I was gonna know you and this, right? There's this like stupid thing that happens where couples run into each other over and over and over and over because they don't have a direction in which to go.
And that's called an impasse. In therapy world, an impasse, IMPASSE, right? We're at an impasse. We're doing this, whoa, and we think that we're facing each other. We think we're looking each other in the ojos, but we're not. So yeah, but what you're saying is like, okay, this isn't the goal. Just like boom, boom, boom.
Right.
I mean, eventually it is, right? But okay. Here's the goal over here. Maybe even here's the enemy. So we're going to externalize the problem and do like this. And if you're not watching, then we're actually turning away from each other, but facing the same direction. And now we can
lock arms and walk together
and take steps toward that shared goal. Or when we externalize the problem, we're saying, you know what? This stupid argument that has plagued us for 18 years, let's get that.
And now when we do that, turn together and face that, we become like soldiers in an army, like a unit. We know what mission success looks like. We know who our enemy is.
Task Force Bruiser.
So that's right. And here's the other thing that happens though. Usually when one couple or one partner in the couple starts to grow, so let's say I'm facing Seth, he's facing me, but now Seth is starting to grow. Y'all, this is what happened. I was facing him, he was facing forward, and I kept running into him and being like, come on, like, ooh. And he was like, girl, I am just trying to grow, like, chill out. And I couldn't see it.
Step off of me.
What were you like? What was that?
I don't know.
Brooklyn?
Okay, so there's a lot of comments here. Bitchy Lou says, that'll preach. I like that. Yep, that'll preach. That's like when we're playing golf, we'll say that'll play.
Someone says the War of Art and Pro of what? So it's the War of Art and Turning Pro. Turning Pro,
right. Paul says, your future self. Love that. Reminds me of what Jesse Itzler says. I didn't come this far to only come this far.
So
that is awesome. Now let me give a quick anecdotal story here. So when we packed, this was 20 years ago when I was in Emory, and we packed up everything we owned and knew and drove across country, right? And we were touring in a band, and we were in some of the most crazy situations ever, right? and we were on the side of the interstate somewhere in the desert, and we had a blown tire, right? And we were in the middle of the tour, and I was usually the one that would like change the tires and do stuff,
you're
you know?
hunky.
Well, I don't know. It's
You're
just
studly.
I just did, right? But it was in the middle of the night. Cars were flying by, and I was literally probably, I don't know, 24 inches from the side of the road with semis going down. And I was changing the tire like that. And this just thought came to me. It's like, okay, I could instantly get killed, but I know that God didn't bring me here just to die on the side of the road, right? I didn't come this far. I didn't quit everything and leave everything that I knew in South Carolina just to die on the middle of the road on I-10 in Arizona, just something stupid and lame. So that was a real, like, I wasn't scared.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't come this far to stop now, to come this far. So that's awesome. I love Jesse Itzler. He's awesome. Okay. Back to other questions. Bambi says, good morning. I love your show and listen to it every day. Can you please let me know where to post my question? Yes, we can. Email us at hello@anatomyofmarriage.com. hello@anatomyofmarriage.com. OMG, that is my marriage. Mental illness is real and challenging when the ill one does not want to deal with their issues.
And that is that's a level of a different level of complexity. I will say that is what therapists are for. If you're in this situation, like this person is saying, I don't know if I should stay in my marriage. I don't know what I should do. What do I do? Like what, blah, blah, blah. Counselors, therapy. That is
you
what
have to have outside resources. You have to have a team, especially in the case where a spouse has mental illness. Like Melanie had clinical mental illness.
I had depression and postpartum depression. I mean, I went to a doctor for it.
And so I diagnose people with these things, like literally diagnose for insurance purposes and these things. I had legit PTSD from all of our stuff. Like, oh my gosh, and so that's whatever it is. But yes, mental illness obviously is real, and you have to have a team. Oh my gosh, you have to have a team of people around you, a support network. And if that's church, if that's Facebook groups, if that is a therapist, whatever it is,
you got to be careful about your team, though. You can't be surrounded by your snatchy friends and your like sarcastic sister. Like that is not going to bring you to the.
Just kidding. She's not.
That is not going to bring you to the place that you want to be. Someone in the comments said they love my earrings. Yeah, I love them too. They are from She Loves Pretty. Go to shelovespretty.com. Get them on Instagram. She Loves Pretty Shop.
And they're not a sponsor. It's just somebody we like. Okay, what do you do when a spouse needs to see a counselor but is in denial, apathetic, and refuses to go?
First, hold on. Don't you dare say one thing.
First.
You've got to have a vision. You've got to talk to your spouse. What is the vision for our marriage? You want to do this for the next 10 years? I didn't think so. Let's not do that for the next 10 years. Have a vision. Say, hey, and so here's this thing that people often try to fight when we should invite. I just came up with this recently, this idea. Often we fight when we should invite. We say something like, you need to go to counseling. You're screwed up. We start a fight, right? Why don't you see it? Why can't you go? Blah, blah, blah. Instead, invite a new idea and say, oh, you know what? I really want to have you externalize a dream, toss a dream out there and get them to start dreaming about it. And say, you know what? I would love to have the kind of marriage where we can go on vacation and be happy and we don't fight when we're, on our vacation. And I would love if we had a parenting relationship like this person does or that, whatever. And you invite them and you say, well, how could we do that? Maybe we should go to counseling.
I would really appreciate it. And I would love it if we went to counseling together, It's so you're not saying, hey, you're screwed up, you're apathetic, you're all this stuff. You're inviting a new opportunity, and this is one thing that Dave Ramsey says, and we don't talk really about money, but he gets questions often like, hey, I love the program, the money makeover. I read all your stuff, but my spouse is just like
not on board,
whatever. Right. So he says, okay, don't turn Dave Ramsey's name into a cuss word at home, right? So don't turn AOM into a cuss word. Millie said this or Seth said this. I don't care what they said, right? Don't do that because that is counterproductive. That's not what you're after. Instead, say, you know what? And this is how Dave Ramsey puts it. You know what? What would an extra $10,000 do for us?
Right.
what would we do with that money? The path that we're on right now, both of us, we ain't got jack in the bank, right? This is an example.
Right.
But what would we do with that? Would we go on vacation? Would we buy our kids, something? Would we put college money away? What would we do with that?
Right.
And then if the answer is like, I really don't care about money, who cares? Then you have an issue, right? Or we would do this and this and this. That is so cool.
Right.
And then you leave it alone.
And
you let that idea stew
right.
and say, hey, check this out, kind of thing. So it's a what do you say Russell Brunson says from ClickFunnels? A new opportunity, right? We would have new opportunities if we had 10K in the bank, right? Or 20 or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And I think one of the things too is we talked about that image before of a couple. They tend to be aimed at each other, walking and running into each other and getting so mad. And then one of them turns and the other one continues to run into them. But guess what? You can actually go forward, even if one partner is being a ding-a-ling and is still trying to run into you like a bee at a window.
That's right. If you're resolute, and I'll give the most recent example. Again, I did 75 Hard, started this year, January 2nd, and you were like, this is stupid.
Oh, I let you know how stupid I thought.
You said this is stupid, and I looked at you and said, you're stupid.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. I'm just kidding.
But
I kept on moving forward with that.
It's important to understand if you're the partner in this relationship that is wanting to stop running into each other and start going forward, you're going to have a harder time. No big deal. You're tough as nails. You can do that. Eventually, your partner will either catch on and then slowly turn. But let me tell you, don't get mad at them and try to make them turn. It's not going to work.
Nope.
But you keep on changing. You keep on growing, not with a stupid bad attitude. Don't be like, see, I changed and I grew. That's not going to be helpful. You do it the best and healthiest way possible. And you invite them along. You invite them along. Fight, you invite, right? And that's, I don't know, the kind of thing I think. Let's see. Brene says, it's humbling to apologize and admitting we were wrong. What? Yes, we were wrong. No one wants to be wrong, and we end up holding on to our pride over our relationship. Let go of the pride, and beautiful things will happen. Yes, nothing changes if nothing changes.
Ego versus spirit. Ego wants to hold on. Ego doesn't want to say you're sorry. Ego holds on to pride. All this stuff that usually is not helpful in a relationship, right? What's up, Linz? You know about ego. You know about spirit because we talk about it. Transitioning to and striving daily to be in spirit, like. Spirit is present. Spirit's like, okay, I don't have to be right.
Right.
I know that I am moving towards this and I can be right about that, in your own mind. But also, spirit doesn't, say, oh, I'm right about this and she's just dumb, so I'm better. No, that's back into ego, right? So it's a constant check-in of like, okay, ego, spirit. And Stephen Pressfield talks about the resistance. You guys, we all have resistance.
La resistance,
right? And that is, so pointing out the times when we have resistance is like kind of a beacon of like, oh, I don't want to do this. Well, that's what you exactly need to do because what we resist will persist until we acknowledge it and become resolute to work on that.
I do want to say in this question, it says, I feel stuck and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix our broken marriage. But then it says something around, it's got like a typo, but it says, I don't know if I should just stay for the kids or something like that. And it says something inside me actually wants to. I want to address that also. If you
wants to stay,
well, to both of the things, stay for the kids and wants to stay. So when Seth and I went through our hardest parts of our marriage, he said something along the lines of like, do you forgive me? Like right in the very beginning when he had like confessed to looking at pornography and stuff. And I said, yes. And it was almost like a divine thing where it came out of me before I could even think about it. And it was like a declaration. That does not mean it was easy, but I chose, I'm going to forgive you. This is going to be really hard. I'm going to forgive you anyway. And that's like a choice that I made. It was kind of like a line in the sand. Here we go business. Again, it really was terrible because I was terrible. But I want to talk about this idea of you don't stay in the relationship if you're going to continue to do the same things. Don't just try to sail that ship. It's broken. You got to like park it and fix it. Park your ship. But definitely, if you're going to stay in your relationship for your children and continue to do the same things, you are setting your children up for a really crappy life. If you're going to be unhappy in your marriage, and that's like a thing you're like, yeah, I mean, it's not great, but the kids, all you're doing is saying, hey kids, I'm going to steep you in unhappiness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to steep you in dysfunction.
And
have fun.
Right. And more is caught than taught. But I'm not saying, okay, yeah, if you're saying for the kids, then boom, you just have to get out.
Don't stay for the kids, change for the kids.
That's good. Change for the kids. So what's up, Marriage Support Today? How you doing? Hey, you guys, there's been a lot of marriage people that have been on the show today. If you guys have podcasts, we would love to talk about these things on your show. So hit us up at hello@anatomyofmarriage.com, and we'll absolutely hook it up. We will do a Zoom call, and boom, do it soon.
So Gretchen says, so if my husband could benefit from therapy but is resistant to going, basically I should go by myself and let him see/talk to him about the positive benefits to me, not in a pressuring way. And maybe that will be more effective in helping him see what he needs. I might try that. Yes. That is one option. Mm-hmm. I would also really recommend, there are great podcasts like The School of Greatness with Lewis Howes. Mm-hmm. Andy Frisella, his podcast, Real AF, Ed Milet.
Mm-hmm. These are all personal growth podcasts that have very, very inspiring interviews that, these are the shows that we listen to get, not get motivated, because motivation sometimes is fleeting, but to get inspired.
Right.
That helps me to be inspired and go, oh, I want some of that, what that guy has, what that woman has. And then that is very helpful. So yes, okay.
Or reading something like David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me.
Right. Or Gary John Bishop, Stop Doing That S. So you guys, I get this question. We get this question all the time. My partner won't do this. My partner's this. What should I do? So you can only control you, right? You can influence other people, but I honestly have no bearing on what Melanie does or doesn't do, right? But I guarantee you, just by osmosis or the energy that I'm bringing and energy that I'm putting out, if I'm doing things, again, I'll go back to 75 hard, or eating super clean, or reading a book a week, and she sees me doing this, guess what? We also talk about more is caught than taught with our children. More is caught than taught with your spouse.
Right.
Are you kidding me? So if Melanie's just spending bukus of money, and I'm like, don't spend money, you can't. I'm not going to let you, blah, 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 you're ruining our life, all this stuff. Or I say, you know what? Let's go over our finances together. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to allow myself $10 a week for coffee and whatever. I'm not spending any money. I am on a personal spending freeze.
Prove it is what it's like.
Prove it, right? Do that for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and I guarantee if your spouse is not a zombie or comatose, they're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I think I should do this too. And you're not blaming, you're not judging, you're not pressuring. How much money did you spend today? Did you go to counseling? What did you talk to your husband about? No, that's not going to work, right? So I think Gretchen is completely on the right page. I'm so glad that you came to that realization. More is caught than taught, not only with your kids, but with your spouse as well. You, person with the shoulders, be the change that you want to see, and then other people will adapt and most likely change around that.
Right. And I wanted to say also, one of the things that people, I think, fail to understand or fail to see is that if you're in the mindset of, I want to change and grow, someone needs therapy, blah, 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 that's your mindset. Your spouse may not be anywhere near that. And so a very helpful way is just invite them into the concept of changing through listening to the stories of other people, invite them into the concept of growth and change through listening to the stories of other people's transformations. So it is sometimes far too scary for most people, especially men who do not talk about their feelings, to be like, all right, therapy, dive into the feelings world. What do you think about yourself and your parenting, blah. And they're like, I've never had to think about these things. I don't want to. I'd rather go drink Bud Light and look at.
Some people would rather die rather than talk about these things.
Seriously, some people would rather die.
Actually, right?
And so there's this amazing thing that happens when you listen to people like Lewis Howes on the School of Greatness, and he talks about his own transformation. And then you listen to, all the people he interviews. All of them have a crazy story of transformation, and they're inspiring because then they end up being millionaires because they start some foundation or they whatever. Like, it's amazing. So sometimes it's that key of listening to someone else's story, watching many other people go through a journey that it's a lot easier to make that first step into that.
No,
world. He touches my back when he wants me to shut up, and it makes me mad.
Well, no, that's just how it is, right? That's the structure of the show. So you guys, let's skip that last. Well, okay. Somebody on YouTube Live says, in the money example, it's not an extra 10K. It's already there, but by managing it properly allows you to utilize what you already have.
Right.
Same thing with managing your relationships. It's already there. Exactly. Somebody on Instagram says, when talking about staying for the kids, has made me think about when Will and Jade said bad marriage for life.
Right.
And thoughts like that make me fight not to have that, especially since I've never had an example. Yes.
Right.
Or of a good marriage growing up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's hard.
Yeah.
That's tricky. And that's what I say. Instead of trying to don't stay for the kids, change for the kids. I think that's
good.
probably the best way that I would put that. And don't just stay married. Like don't do that. Change and grow. Change your marriage. Don't
first change yourself, then change your marriage, and family will follow after that.
Right.
And you guys, we're going to talk about coaching for a minute, right? If you could have done this by yourself, you would have done it already, right? If you could have done it alone with willpower and just like, gripping it and ripping it, you would have done it already, right? But if that's not true, and actually realizing that realization and coming to that conclusion is super important. So I want to talk about coaching for a minute. Me and Melanie started coaching, right? I've been in the therapy world for 13 plus years, and I've always had this tension of like, I don't want to be your therapist. I know you need more than this. I want to like kind of get on you and ride you for this, and like, hey, push you because I see the potential in you.
Right.
That's what coaching does, you guys. We did coaching last year. We spent a buttload of money on it, and we are reaping the benefits. And guess what? Just like a college degree or having a home ownership or something, that is an investment that will give you returns over and over and over. And like a college degree, nobody can do anything to take that away, right? Sure, the diploma can burn up, whatever, but I have it here.
Right.
It's here, right? And coaching does the same exact thing. And remember, if you would have done
if you could have done it yourself, you would have done it already.
You would have done it already. You would have done it a year ago, 5 years ago, 2 months ago, right? So we offer coaching, elite coaching, right? Because we get in there, we talk to you every single day about your goals. Where are you at? Bro, sis, let's check in. Where are you at, right? And that increased accountability every day is super important, because I didn't want a day to go by and my coach say, Seth, what's up? Oh, I don't know, slipped in and ate bonbons. You what? What are you doing? You are more than that. I see in you way more than that. Let's go. So and it wasn't a fear. It was like, let's do this. I see it in myself. Woo!
It's just like a drill sergeant or like someone in the army. I keep using that analogy with our kids. Our kids are in hot water with me. And I told them yesterday, I'm not your mom right now. I am your drill sergeant.
Right. And they didn't like it, right? So, but guess what? In the uncomfortableness, in the discomfort, we grow. So email us at coaching@anatomyofmarriage.com. I'll jump on a call with you. We'll talk about it, the course of coaching, what it looks like, where and who do you want to be in 90 days? We get couples saying, my husband doesn't want to do this. My wife doesn't want to do this. Okay. If you want to do it, go for it. If you want to take the island of your marriage, of your life, of your career, you got to burn the boats. And coaching absolutely does that. It absolutely did it for us, because I was like, we pulled this trigger. There is no turning back.
Right.
Don't look back. I'm not walking that way anyway. Right?
Exactly.
And that is so powerful. So email us right now, in 2 seconds from now, when we get off the show, at coaching@anatomyofmarriage.com.
And I want to say really quickly, like, one of the things, the practical ways that coaching works is, I am here for you. Like, if you're my client, I am here for you all the time, 24 hours a day. Doesn't matter. If you feel like ripping your husband's head off, give me that energy and I'll tell you what to do with it. And I don't mean that in a weird way.
No.
But it is incredibly awesome to be a coach. It's really inspiring. I love it. It's my zone of genius, y'all. So check it out.
All right. So now we're transitioning to the Anatomy of Marriage app. You guys, it's fast, fun, never boring. We made it because we needed to.
That's right.
And you're going to love it. So go to the iTunes store or the App Store, the Anatomy of Marriage app, and conversation starters. Okay. All right, Mel, let me ask you something, girlfriend.
Okay, go ahead.
Tell me about a time when you thought I was on my A game.
I actually thought of this yesterday, so y'all hear this. I was thinking about ways that, like, your energy when you actually are like when you turn me on, kind of. That sounds really weird, but accelerators, and it is you are always on your A game when we travel. There is no version of Seth like the traveling version of Seth. You've got everything lined up. You know where everything is. And even if you don't, I love it. I mean, it's one of my favorite versions of who you are. And that you're always on your A game when we travel. You know you know what to do. Like, I'm just following you. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, travel.
I'm like a kid when we travel. Like, I don't know. I'm just here.
You literally are. You're like, I don't know. What do we do?
It's the best.
Well, yeah, I downloaded the app 2 weeks ago because I had to get this.
I mean, I'm not. I'm very helpful, but you are very much like a boss.
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
When have I been on my A game?
You are on your A game. Okay, I'll tell you this. You are mostly on your A game all the time.
That's right.
No, you are. Really.
I know.
And I'm not just saying this to bull crap around. With the kids, I love it when you are laying the hammer down, when the kids are just bonkers, you know, and that is helpful. And I really, really appreciate that. When you are organizing stuff, that's your A game. So I know you, in my mind, the version of you that exists is you're on your A game more than not. And I really appreciate that. So
thank you.
Cranks. All right.
Next one.
Our story. Okay. Come on now.
This is what we've answered, so we've asked so many that there's like some we can't even.
Okay, so I'm going to let's do an intimate.
Your big fat fingers.
Sorry, guys. What's up, Emily? Good morning. What's up, Haley Joe?
See.
Okay, last question.
What are you most excited about right now?
Right now?
I think that's easy for me anyway. It's coaching.
Yeah, coaching.
Like I'm super jazzed on coaching, and I'm not being a ding dong. It is.
No, you're not.
It's awesome to help people transform their lives. Gosh, when you transform someone's marriage, you transform generations.
Yeah, you know, folks talk about the generational curse being lifted, all this stuff, and all that is translation in the therapy world is family of origin stuff that you don't want to perpetuate.
But you don't know how to not perpetuate it because you're surrounded by your family and it's how you've lived every day of your life. So when you get coaching, you change it.
That's
you literally change your kids' entire world when you can get coaching and change that. And I am jazzed beyond everything.
So I am super excited about coaching too. And this is just going to turn into us talking about coaching, but that's okay. So yesterday was September 1st. We have 3+ openings, which translates into 3 to 4 new clients openings this month. So if you want to get on it,
y'all.
Yeah, no, that's it because it's booking up, right? I'm like, oh geez, I have to really rearrange schedule stuff because it is booking up. So for the month of September, we have minimum 3 openings, maximum 5. Maximum 5, that's really, really pushing it. So email us at coaching@anatomyofmarriage.com. And hold on. I am super excited. You didn't ask me what I'm super excited about.
What are you excited about?
Coaching. No, I honestly
I thought you answered it already.
By building this and helping other people. I talked to our old coach yesterday, and he was like, "Bro, you're doing this, you know." And then he even inspired me to step up.
Our coach inspired us, guys.
Our coach inspired us, and I'm like, "Okay, dude, you're right. Thank you. I needed to hear that. The coach me needed to hear something from our coach, and it was really powerful. So I am genuinely excited about coaching even more.
I have to say what Brene says. She said, somehow the phone tassel doesn't look odd in Melanie's hand. I genuinely laughed. It does look so weird. It's like flinging around in Seth's hand. Anyway, we love you guys so much. If you've got a question for the show, send it in to hello@anatomyofmarriage.com. You can DM us on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And keep kicking A and taking names.
Keep kicking A. And also, if you need therapy, which I think some of these questions you would really benefit from therapy, go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage. They are a show sponsor. Get Faithful. It's great to work with them. So go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage. And also, you guys, when we talk about coaching, we are serious as a heart attack about that. You need it. If you would have done it by now, you would have already done it.
If you could have done it on your own, you would have done it by now.
That's right. So email us also at coaching@anatomyofmarriage.com. Last comment. Pretty Brittany says, Melanie, I left you a post in the women's group yesterday. You'll be happy that you checked it out. You're welcome.
I'm going to go check it out right now.
All right. We love you guys. Catch you soon.
All right.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Finish and share.